Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing. And in today's video, we will be at the Chili Bowl, or as it's known in the game, Washington Park. So only 1/5 of a mile, so the track is a good bit shorter than some of the other tracks we've been racing on to this point in the career, but it's also a very different vibe since it is an indoor track. The facilities look very different. The atmosphere is certainly very different. Looking at our car performance, we are at a 29 out of 37. So we're going to want to do something about that because this is our very first showcase event. So if you look at the top of the screen, just below the main menu on the right-hand side, it says showcase event. And that means that on the schedule, this lines up to the very first one under our sponsor section. So if you take a look under Donovan, showcase event number 1, which is race 5, where we are now, we need to make it to the D main, which shouldn't really be an issue since this is the initial sponsor and this is sort of the bottom tier sponsor that everybody will have an opportunity to get regardless of where you are as far as your performance or your car is concerned. So Donovan will be our first opportunity here. And then you see as we move forward, showcase event number 2, we need to make it to the B main, but that is in race 10. So that gives us a few more races to hopefully earn enough money to do at least one more upgrade to our car. And then as we move on forward, race 10, if we make it to the B main, we'll also unlock Kier's Speed Shop. And then finally, race 14 is our final showcase, showcase number 3, and we need to make it to the A main there. Our chances of doing that at this point look extremely slim and almost non-existent, but time will tell. We still got a few races to go. Before that, maybe we can pull a rabbit out of a hat and nail down that Jake's Golf Cart sponsorship for another season to come. All right, so if we come back to our garage, first thing we need to do is do some repairs. It's going to cost us some money. As you can see, $485 for the engine, $286, $283, and then finally $92. So let's go ahead and press the X key. Yes, we want to spend that money. That puts us down just under $4,400, so we're not too bad overall, but we want to make sure that we get the best performance we can, even though it's not really going to be a huge deal in this particular showcase event. So there we go. Now we're back up to our plus $3,735 remaining. Looks like we've done everything we need to do before the race, so let's head to the track. Practice and qualifying now in the books, and we were easily able to meet the goal time of 13:77 in practice, beating it by 4/10, and then going a little bit quicker than that in qualifying at a 13:27. As always, I ran 2 or 3 laps of practice, and that's it. At this point, I kind of have an idea of what I need out of the car. Given the current state and performance of the car, I basically can just throw a setup in there and be perfectly fine. Not perfect, of course. Wouldn't expect it to be perfect, but it certainly meets our needs for right now. So our qualifying time of 13:27 put us, I believe, either 25th or 26th. So not too bad considering where we've been the last few weeks. But once again, the gear that we're forced to run, the 6.0, will severely limit our RPMs because we're way down on engine performance. So we're going to have to do the best we can. Unfortunately, in the race conditions, we're not going to be able to run extremely fast laps because we're going to be in traffic, meaning that we can't use the entire track to try to keep our RPMs up as much as possible. So we'll be starting in heat race number 2, I believe in the 6th position. So job number 1 is to try to get ourselves a finishing position in heat number 2 to get ourselves into the A main. And then if that doesn't work out, we'll deal with the B main and try to move on from there. But what we want is to go directly from the heat into the A main. All right, here we go. Heat race number 2. We're starting on the outside, so as quickly as possible, probably going to need to get to the bottom. We'll just have to see. Of course, running the outside groove might allow us to run some more RPM, which would certainly be good, but I'm not sure that that's going to be worth it long term for us at this juncture because I just don't think we've got enough speed to run up here and make up for that increased distance that we would run. There's that wonderful rattling again. One of the things I have to say about this game that very much disappoints me is in the midgets, I have basically no feel out of the car. The force feedback in the wheel, and this may just be a Logitech G920 issue rather than an overall game issue, but whatever the issue is, I have basically no feel whatsoever in the car. I mean, it's almost as if I don't have a force feedback wheel at all, with the exception of the game wants to give me some basic bumps, some generic bumps around the track, but other than that, I basically get no sensation from the car. And at first I thought maybe that's just a career mode thing, but I've run a few other races just to test it out under the quick race mode, and it's not. It's the very same feeling there. So that's disappointing. The good news is I don't have that feeling at all coming from the 410s. I've spent a little bit of time in the 305s. Too early to tell on it specifically, but the 410s feel great. But the midgets, not so much. It is hard to get any kind of feel from those cars at all. So as you can see on the screen, we'll be going to the C main because we didn't do so well there. We had no speed at all. Wasn't able to find any sort of groove. Of course, right now the races are very short. Hard to find a groove anyway, but we'll be starting second in the C main. So now our job is to do the absolute best we can. Wouldn't it be nice to come home with a victory, even if it is in the C main?
The top 5 finishers in this race all advance to the B main. Good luck out there.
All right, that's the information we needed to know. Top 5 advance to the B main. So we're starting in second. We need enough speed to get us to the B main. That is our minimum goal in each and every event. Oh, look out, a little contact there. My bad. But you can clearly see, I mean, these guys are killing us on lap time. So I'm just going to try to hit this inside groove as hard as I can. Use as much of the track as I am allowed to without. Yep, he got underneath me there. Gave me a little bit of a knock out of the way, which is exactly what he should have done, because we are not up to speed, so he needed to get us out of the way so that he could move on about his race. Oh, just no torque coming up off the corner. So even if I get through the corners great, which is not necessarily the case right now, but even if I do, we still have nothing to get us off the corner. I mean, it just, to me, it feels like we basically are going from 60 miles per hour to 0. All right, yeah, we're just spinning wheels now. So it looks like we need a little bit help on corner exit. All right, so we're falling back in the running order. I'm going to try to take these last couple laps and see if there's any way that I can get us a couple more spots. But the foot is to the floor.
Only 2 more to go for.
Oh, look out. All right, we just got ran out of the way there. Again, which is exactly what I would expect them to do. At this point, everybody's just trying to get everything they can get. Oh, did not know he was there. Yeah, this is awful. Not having any engine power is just so debilitating and not fun to race with. I mean, I can deal with having less grip. In fact, sometimes that can be fun, but not having the engine power, man, that is just killer. So we'll finish 9th in the C main, which of course means we will not be moving on to the B main, much less the A main. So that is really confirming some plans I had for the future. Things are looking like I'm going to need to make some drastic changes as to how we progress moving forward, because we have the opportunity to do some very nice things in this career mode, but it looks like the progression is just going to take forever to get us before we can actually do very much and have a chance to actually compete to get into the A main, and at this point, even into the B main in certain showcase events. So it looks like Corey Clay got the victory. We finished in 34th, and we remain in 25th for the season standings, which is apparently about as low as we can get right now. Even though if we look down, we see a total of 40 cars and drivers there, so not bad overall. I'm really not sure what these guys are dealing with, given what we are working with. So maybe something along the same lines. There's that $2,400 for our race earnings, which is, just imagine what that could have been had we been able to finish up even about 10 places higher around where we qualified. That would have been awesome. Once again, merchandise sold at $3, sponsored payout at $9.10. So a total of $3,300. So from this point forward, I can tell you, I have all but convinced myself that we're going to do everything, pump all the money we can into tires and engine, and specifically into engine as quickly as we can. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more career mode gameplay of Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing.